Hey there, welcome. My hope for this video is to help you increase brand recognition for women's brands. I'm specifically focusing on women's tops today, brands that one have high sell-through rates so that hopefully they'll move quickly for you. And then I also wanted brands that would sell for, at least $20 or more. Most of my research was based off of eBay sold. And then I did pull a few brands also from the Poshmark 2023 Holiday Trends Report, and I'll link that below. It's a really great read. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first brand that I wanted to highlight is Joa Brown. This had a sell-through rate of 100%. I was seeing the shirt sell for around $40. Now keep in mind the price that I mentioned does include cost of shipping, and this is just to give you a ballpark idea of price range you can expect. But of course, there are going to be outliers, so it's always important to look up your specific piece that you are considering picking up, whether or not it's worth picking up. The next brand is Outerknown. This is a sustainable lifestyle brand that was actually founded by Kelly Slater. The sell-through rate on this is 120%, really great. And I was seeing these sell on eBay for around $50 all the way up to $70. So there's definitely a great opportunity to make some good money with this brand if you can pick it up for the right price. It seems to be a fast-moving, popular brand right now to resell on eBay. I generally love to pick up women's clothing in larger sizes. That sells really well for us on eBay. And I found this particularly to be the case with Eileen Fisher. The general search for women's shirts of this brand only had a sell-through rate of about 40%, which really isn't fantastic. But women's Eileen Fisher shirts that were size 2XL had a sell-through rate of 100%. So that's just an example of sometimes the size does matter, also style, of course. I think Eileen Fisher is a pretty solid brand all the way around, but especially if you can find those larger sizes, those tend to move really quickly and sell well for us. Another example of this is Lily Pulitzer. Now, just the general search again didn't have the best sell-through rate, but when I searched 2XL shirts of this brand, the sell-through rate was 500%. So definitely be on the lookout for larger sizes of these two brands and really women's clothing in general, and those should hopefully move pretty quickly for you. Johnny Was is another one with a great sell-through rate right now at 100%, and I was seeing the shirts sell for around the $40 mark and up. Now, Anthropology is another one that can resell well. However, you just have to double check the specific style. Some styles do a lot better than others. The sell-through rate in general wasn't spectacular. So, just make sure you do your research when you come across this brand and decide, whether that particular style is worth picking up or not. The brand Spell and the Gypsy Collective is an Australian lifestyle brand, and they actually just shortened the name to Spell, so you might see either label. The sell-through rate of this was about 60%, so decent, and I was seeing the shirt sell for around $60 or more. And I know that this is a video about women's shirts, but I do have to mention their dresses can sell for really good money. So definitely be on the lookout for the dresses as well. Figs is actually a scrubs brand. The women's scrub tops have a sell-through rate of about 53%, and I was seeing them sell for around the $15 to $30 range. I find that the scrub section isn't as heavily picked over at our thrift stores as some of the other sections, so that's why I wanted to mention this brand. So definitely keep an eye out for Figs, a great brand that we love to pick up. Lily Lotan is another brand. Sell-through rate was about 50% at the time of this video, and I was seeing the shirts sell for around $30 all the way up to $100. Now keep in mind, sell-through rate and average sales price is constantly changing based on what's selling. So just use this as kind of a baseline. So when you're out in the wild, make sure you check solds for the specific pieces that you're considering picking up and make sure that they're going to be a good pickup for you. Sam's World is a brand based out of Honolulu, Hawaii. So they have a lot of cool, bright colors, floral print, some really cool pieces. And the sell-through rate's really decent at 75%. And I was seeing the women's top sell for around $20 to $50. Spanx is another more well-known brand, but definitely worth keeping an eye out for. Sell-through rate for women's tops was 77%. The tank tops were going for around $15 to $20, but the more substantial pieces like sweatshirts were going for even more. We love picking up Spanx. It sells really well for us and usually fairly quickly. Frank and Eileen had an excellent sell-through rate at 126%, and their shirts were selling for around $40 all the way up to $100. So definitely a solid brand. Now, Poshmark's 2023 holiday trend report that I mentioned, I'm going to link below, mentioned a few things that are trending right now to keep an eye out for. One of the things mentioned was 100% cashmere sweaters. So that's no surprise. We know cashmere sells well, but just a reminder to anybody who's maybe new to selling women's clothes, definitely keep an eye out for that material. Sell-through rate in general for women's cashmere sweaters was about 62%, so fairly decent. Another one that Poshmark mentioned was merino wool, and sell-through rate for that was about 60%. The report also mentioned the brand Rowing, which is new to me, specifically Rowing blazers. And I'll put a picture up here so you kind of know what to look out for. Apparently, Rowing has a cult following, and the sell-through rate wasn't very high on eBay. It was only about 30%, to be honest. So if you find this, probably worth picking up if you get it at the right price, but just know it's probably not going to move quite as quickly as some of these other brands. Also mentioned was Barbiecore and Taylor Swift. Sold on Barbiecore and eBay weren't great, but definitely consider picking it up if you come across it. However, Taylor Swift shirts had a great sell-through rate at 126%. The tour shirts were selling for around $50. Of course, there were outliers. So definitely something that is really trending right now. And I know these aren't necessarily brands per se, but it hopefully gives you an idea as far as women's wear of things that are trending and what should do well for you. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to touch on from the report that Poshmark mentioned was Free People. Again, that's no surprise. However, specifically, they mentioned the Easy Street tunic, and I checked sold on eBay for that, and the sell-through rate was 110%. So I'll put a picture up here so you know kind of what to look for. But that piece in particular is a great style to keep an eye out for. I was seeing those sell for around $30 to $50. With Free People, they have quite a few different lines within the brand. They have We the Free, We Move is their like athletic wear. Within that line, sell-through rate for tops was about 55%, and I was seeing them sell for around the $10 to $30 range. So not a super high dollar piece, but could be a great bread and butter item. Tuckernuck is another one with a great sell-through rate at 93%, and I was seeing these shirts sell for around $40 and up. Kinsey had a sell-through rate of over 100%, and I was seeing those shirts sell for around the $25 to $40 range. Pact had a sell-through rate at 83%, and they were selling for around that $20 mark. Ed Hardy had a sell-through rate of 60%, and women's tops of that brand were selling for around the $25 range and up. Icebreaker, which is a merino wool performance apparel company, had a sell-through rate of over 100%, and I was seeing those shirts sell for around $30 to $40. That brand reminds me a lot of Smart Wool, which is another great one to keep an eye out for. Aviator Nation has the very distinct rainbow branding, so usually it's easy to spot. Had a sell-through rate of over 100%. And this brand can definitely bring in some good money. I was seeing the women's shirts sell for around $50 all the way up to $200 for some of them. And the final brand that I wanted to highlight is The Row. This brand was started by Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, and I know it will date me, but I loved them growing up. So that's cool to see that they started a clothing company. I had no idea. Apparently their motive was to create the perfect t-shirt. And sell-through rate on eBay was decent at about 50%, and I was seeing solds from $30 all the way up to $160. I've actually never found this brand or have ever been aware of it until I started doing some eBay research. So I'm going to definitely be on the lookout now for this brand. I hope that this was helpful in helping you recognize maybe a couple of new brands that you weren't familiar with. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite women's shirt brand to pick up that you love to resell. Again, this list is in no way comprehensive. There are so many great women's brands out there to resell. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I appreciate it so much, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and happy hunting.